Hi, I'm Bruno. I am a cinephile, not the other kind of file. I am really into Italian horror, art house, weirdo films left and right. And today's picture is the Great Burial Ground, aka Night of Terror, aka Zombie Horror, aka Zombie Dead, aka Zombie 3, several other titles. This is one of the Italian zombie films that came out shortly after release of Dawn of the Dead and Lucia Fulci's Zombie, aka Zombie 2. And this is a very bizarre, fucked up movie indeed.
I'm Randy, and I'm recording the first and possibly last episode of the Slopbusters podcast. We dig up obscure and hilarious movies to share with everyone.
Hello, I'm Terrapin or Terry, whatever the hell you want to call me. I'm like the hipsterish dude, but I'll watch anything, and as long as it's entertaining, I really don't care.
And I'm Burgermiester, and my opinion is the only one that actually matters.
Fuck you.
Eh,
So, Bruno did a pretty good introduction to Burial Ground, but
yeah.
let's
I
get
selected this one. I selected this one because it's known but not super well known. But it might help us, write the algorithm perhaps because it has that certain level of notoriety to it.
yeah, and it's easy to see why.
The Knights of Terror are unleashed when a professor's thirst for knowledge seals his own demise as he unwittingly unseals a cursed underground crypt in an ancient burial ground. The desecrated graveyard erupts with the groundswells of ravenous, rotting, flesh-hungry zombies that shamble into the night in search of living human prey. On the adjoining grounds, a group of duelists, decadent socialites are enjoying a wild week of retreated debauchery. Among the eccentric guests are a nympho mother and her freakish, incestuous son.
Okay, they're aware.
Unfortunately for the guest, their isolated country villa lies directly in the path of the flesh-eating horde that have party plans of their own. For years, Burial Grounds, The Night of Terror, has only been available in a crappy, murky transfer. For the first time, the film's ever-growing audience will see every gory detail in a new widescreen, anamorphic, and digitally remastered edition that is sure to attract a new legion of horror-crazed fans and solidify the film's reputation as the next Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Very optimistic there.
Very
That's real optimistic because after watching this, no.
should
Yeah.
point out that Media Blasters, I mean, this is part of their sub-label, Shriek Show, those dedicated to horror films. They shut down the Shriek Show label like 2 or 3 years after this. I mean, let's be real. How many zombie movies can you think of that have an incest subplot?
Oh, we're just gonna lead
None.
with that, huh? So we're
None.
gonna work our way to that. We're gonna go straight for the incest.
I mean, that's
Yeah?
one of the big
Well-
things, aside from the casting of Peter Bark as the little boy, a 27-year-old.
I mean, we gotta start
Barf
off with
flesh.
Alan Moore in the crypt. The very first scene in this shit. Well, you know what, Bruno? Let's see you describe it. How
First scene, Professor discovers something incredible. It's incredible. Goes to a crypt, presumably hacks away at something, and zombies, presumably ancient Etruscans, rise from the dead. No real explanation is given of how they came back, why they came back, other than a throw.
Well, the guy, I mean, the professor looks like Alan Moore, so he's probably doing some chaos sex magic shit or something, and he summoned the zombies.
So just like the real Alan Moore.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
he does
yeah,
worship a snake god, Alan Moore.
yeah. Alan Moore's fucking insane.
Yeah,
So
Yeah, it's really telling that the Alan Moore in this is just slightly less insane.
the zombies start pouring out.
No, no! Stand back! I'm your friend! No! No! No!
But let's all ignore that to get the random people who just show up at the estate, I guess.
yeah.
Bruno, you were
Guests, family members, who the fuck cares? Because it's never explained.
Yeah, they're just acquaintances. Why they're going out there, not really explained. The only thing
Oh,
is
we
that-
know why they're going out there.
Oh yeah,
I-
to
I-
fuck. Because there's
I
a lot of
assume-
gratuitous sex in this film.
Yeah, I assume that the husband of Riangelo Giordano, that that her character thing. I assume he owns the castle. He invited all these people for whatever reason, but
or introduce the people that we remember. There was
Oh yeah,
Burt
let's name
Reynolds.
off all the cast members.
Yeah,
Burt Reynolds.
there's Michael.
Michael's the best fucking character. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Okay, so Michael is this very creepy looking dude who is clearly supposed to be a child,
but he's
But
like
he's-
30.
but he's
27.
like,
27
he-
years old.
he was- but yeah, he's played by a man who was 27 years old at the time, and he's clearly trying to fuck his own mom.
Yeah.
And his dialogue is just the best because it's clearly a 27-year-old trying to imitate a child.
I would say worse because all these Italian horror movies, even the good ones like House by the Cemetery by Lucio Fulci, like they can never dub children correctly. It's always like a 50-year-old woman trying to do a little kid voice, but worse.
And this somehow sounds even worse because it's a 27-year-old man trying to do
Exactly.
a
Yeah.
little kid's voice.
And the worst thing is that if any of you have seen that GIF, that dude who's laughing with the sensible chuckle GIF, whenever as like an action image,
Yeah, sir.
I'm
Yeah.
calling
He
it
looks like
shit,
that,
you
but as a
Yeah,
big one.
fuck.
He looks like that, but as a dwarf.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's from the Sinful Dwarf, that flick.
there's a great early scene where Michael's being put into bed and it's quite clearly a fucking midget getting put into a child's bed by a MILF, and he just gives this goofy ass open-eyed stare.
Completely followed immediately, shortly after of him opening a door ever so slowly, but loudly as fucking possible, because it stops his parents from having sex.
It
But
takes only 7 seconds to get in the fucking room.
7 seconds, like a 30-second shot, man. The 30-second shot of
Mommy?
the door loudly creaking open with his shadow there, creepily lurching forward. And then standing there like a 3-year-old who puked all over himself, but he's supposed to be a young man. Italian Gene Wilders, Italian Burt Reynolds, Leslie. I don't remember half their names because they don't scream them enough at each other.
Don't
Yeah.
forget the cameo by the J&B bottle of scotch right there.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Bruno, you brought this up. J&B is like a reoccurring thing in Italian horror.
Yeah, it's been in quite a few movies. I mean, off the top of my head, there's one in Cannibal Apocalypse, House
Well,
in the Park.
Well, it was
What
also
if it's the
it was
same
also
bottle
it was
in every
also
film?
it was also in The Thing.
Yeah, the thing as well. Yeah, where
Kurt-
McCurdy drinks from when he's
Yeah.
doing the chess, computer chess.
I mean, it's
I
it's a
wonder if,
decent
like,
brand.
I
But
wonder. It's strong. It's okay, but I wonder if like the company, like the owners of the company, were like, we gotta get to movies. So no one wants to use our fucking strong as hell scotch, so we'll just give it to the Italian.
I wonder why that's why I made a reference in the thing. Maybe it's like the old school joke about like how animators do that AC-38 fucking ching or whatever.
yeah,
Like it's just JB liquor is just considered the horror liquor.
yeah, maybe.
I don't think
Maybe-
John Carpenter was cognizant of Italian horror at the time.
What if it's the same bottle in every film?
It's like the master bottle. Like it's kept in wherever Italian horror directors nest for the winter.
Closets.
Yeah, probably.
Actually, it's funny. Most of the exploitation horror films, they were shot in winter in Italy, and they're released in the summertime. You would think the summertime would be a good time to release the movies, but in Italy, the movie theaters were not air conditioned, so all the shit films were released in the summertime.
Oh god.
Yeah.
So the people arrive at the castle. They're busy, they're busy getting busy. And then the zombies start showing up, kind of out of nowhere. I mean, they're kind of looking for the professor guy, but I mean, he's dead. He's fucking dead at this point.
They didn't
So
really. They mentioned him once offhand, and then they just don't give a fuck.
No, they
yeah.
never looked at all.
oh,
Period.
oh yeah,
They never once looked. They arrived at the mansion,
The
started
butler-
having sex, woke up the next day. That's it. Then they all went
Yeah.
and did their own damn thing.
The butler mentions that there's like another throwaway line, like, "Oh, he's often off doing his studies for
From like
God
dusk
knows
till
how long."
dawn, but he never showed
Yeah.
up that evening and nobody fucking questioned
No,
it.
no one thought about it. No.
he's out sleeping in the crypt.
Like,
He
you'd think
does
the
that.
butler, the guy who lives there, would be like, hey, the professor didn't come back tonight. He might be dead.
that requires a script, and I don't think they
He was
had
making some
one.
friends. Professor was out making some friends.
He was making some friends, all right.
Yeah.
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 No, I'm your friend. Oh.
No, stop! I'm your friend. No.
Well, since we're talking about the zombies, we might as well just segue into that because the zombies are the give and take from this film. They're not bad. Some of the models are really nice. Some of the masks look nice. Some of them are juicy. Some of them got the maggots, the worms, which I feel like they had to super glue those worms on there to get them to stay in
Yeah,
place.
they did. They often do that.
So
But-
it's like that's even get more disgusting. Think about it,
Yep.
because unless they filmed it all in one day, super glue the worms on, peel them off, and then glue new ones on the next day.
Well, no, you just
Yeah.
keep the worms on and you just apply another
glue
layer.
more on. Yeah, that makes sense.
Basically.
But
That makes sense now. So you're wearing a mask with possibly multiple layers of just dead worms hanging off of it.
yep, and that's
I guess
one
it really
thing.
adds to the effect.
That's something I'll really give this movie. The mask effects are fucking grody as hell.
Yeah.
As long as you got a mask.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
I mean,
If
the
you
mo-
don't,
the movie-
you just have like axle grease or something smeared on your face.
Yeah, I mean, I give the movie some credit that they tried to depict mummified, like ancient dead coming back to life, which is you don't see that very often in zombie movies.
No,
Yeah,
not
they
anymore.
They did something
It's-
creative with it.
Yeah.
It's usually one or the other. You're either going to have zombies or you're going to have mummies that have no discernible
Yeah.
thing about what the fuck they're doing.
And
Like,
this is a good example why they don't do that, because the makeup either has to be really super elaborate or really cheap. We go
Right.
with masks like this.
but I
Yeah.
appreciate the effort.
Very flammable, considering our one friend who caught on fire.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. But another thing about the zombies in this film, they use tools, which is something I actually like. I like it when zombies are a little more intelligent.
I
Not
agree. I love it.
smart, but not the brain.
Although
Also,
there is
also able to throw like a fucking railroad spike, like a fucking.
Oh yeah.
that
Oh,
is-
the maid kill. Oh,
Yeah.
that's
the maid
amazing.
kill where her neck was apparently made out of like soft bologna or some shit because
Okay.
there was no noise and no effort whatsoever. He just pulled down and that fucking head came right off.
Burgermeister, just describe the maid kill because
Ah, the maid kill. Well, let's see. Maid sticks her head out window. Then she gets ninja'd by a motherfucking zombie. And I say ninja'd because he wasn't just standing there. He was in stealth mode behind a bush.
And
And he-
fucking throws the thing.
he throws
He
the
throws
ninja
it- he-
star.
Throws
You
it
throw-
perfectly.
Yeah, he throws it straight. So, I mean, it lands with, like, most people can't even throw a knife with that level of accuracy.
Yeah.
But he did it with a railroad spike. Strong enough to stick her hand to the wall. And then he crucified her at least halfway to the fucking windowsill. So then, as she's standing there screaming in pain because her hand's pinned to the wall, she does what any natural person would do and lean out the window. And that's when our zombie friends bring along their fucking scythe. Real nice, not sharp, but like I said, cuts through the skin like bologna. So afterwards, we got an Italian Burt Reynolds. He shows up and he's like, "Oh my god, the maid!" And then he does what any natural person does, and he throws her out the fucking window.
Yeah.
Here you go, bitch.
Well, the
Highway
hell's
crosser.
dead.
After
Good
coming
job.
across her decapitated body.
Yeah, decapitated body, which it stopped bleeding at that point
Yeah.
because the human body only has like a half gallon of blood in or whatever. So after she's dead and stuff, he throws her over. And I would have loved personally when her legs were dangling there, if we had gotten a shot where all the meat from like below the knee was gone and it was just dangling skeletal legs like fucking dead alive. That
Oh,
would
yeah,
have been
that would've
kind of
been good,
great.
yeah.
That
That
would
would've
be
been
awesome.
But they pull her off and then they eat her, and it's like, okay, now he's all upset. I mean, he was almost as upset he was when he came across that one dead chick,
Oh, wait.
Leslie. That's the only other name I remember.
Let's
I
the
remember
dead
that.
chick.
And I only remember Leslie's name because it was screamed about 15 times while her head was getting smashed into the corner
Yeah.
of a bathtub.
Shit, I don't even remember
Oh.
that, man.
Is she his wife, girlfriend?
I
We
don't
know.
think.
Perhaps,
that's
perhaps a sister. Maybe there was another incest subplot going on.
I mean,
we
for all we knew, this was a swingers party, and they just brought the kid along because nobody knew whose it belongs to.
Yeah,
That was
Maybe
your-
Michael.
he just showed
Maybe
up.
Michael. Michael is just the orgy baby from their youth.
Okay, here's the best thing we can say about Michael. He's clearly the Denny from The Room of this movie.
Yeah,
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 I like the mascot for sure.
yeah. You know what I like
Gotta
to
feel
think? I like to think he's like a cuckoo. Like he switched the baby of the couple and has just kind of been raised by them, and they never noticed.
That's the plot of the movie Orphan.
Oh, I love that movie.
It doesn't seem like we've talked about much, but we've already covered half of this movie.
Roughly.
Oh yeah.
Oh, shit.
Well, okay. Let's start at the point where it gets real. The random bear trap scene.
Ah, yes, the bear trap.
And the obvious editing.
The bear trap actually supersedes the bathtub scene and the maid scene.
Oh yeah, yeah. This is where
But,
the movie...
yeah, the bear trap part. Oh yeah.
I always like the obvious editing mistake at the bear trap. Where we
Oh,
use
it's
the
a
same
great shot.
Twice.
But so couple of two, blonde lady, and who was she shacked up with?
Johnny Chesthair.
Balding guy.
Johnny
balding
Chesthair.
guy.
Okay, we're Johnny Chesthair. So they're out frolicking in the garden, and they get attacked by a zombie. So they kind of prance away from it.
Definitely prancing.
Yep. And then the lady stumbles into a bear trap, and there's a drawn out and very poorly edited scene of Chesthair Johnny trying to open the bear trap with the zombies descending on them.
And while this is happening, there's the actress that's in the bear trap screaming in agony. You can clearly see the mole on her face.
Yes.
A giant fucking mole.
They really get up in there. They want you to know that mole's there.
Yeah.
You can see the hairs growing out of it.
Practically. Especially on the Blu-ray.
Okay, especially with the HD copy, you can clearly see it.
You guys just wait for the 4K UHD copy. Then you can see every single possible.
Now we can see all the pores in her skin.
Yeah. That's gonna happen soon. A couple of years, I mark my words. A couple of years, there will be a 4K release of this movie.
Oh, I fucking bet.
Okay, so shit.
Johnny Chesthair grabs a pitchfork and effectively uses it to try to stop a zombie.
And he uses it by swinging it over his head like it's a shovel.
He got the first zombie with it because apparently that zombie never got back up. So after he takes out one zombie, he decides he's going to stab another one. And he was so fucking pathetic at it, even the zombie felt bad for him.
It's kind of a crime right there to have a pitchfork and not have a pitchfork kill.
It was the zombie was genuinely disappointed.
Yeah.
Not that it would have done anything, because before that, we've already watched Italian Gene Wilder empty a clip into them and nothing happened.
Oh yeah, that's in the... That was the Michael panty sniffing scene.
Yes.
Right?
He finds like a piece of cloth on the ground. He's like, "Mother, this cloth smells of death,"
which is unsettling. Because what kind of kid walks up to their parent and reminds them, "Man, this smells like something that died." That boulder cut does not do that kid any fucking favor.
It does not. No. I've always called him like a goth Peter Lorre.
Yeah, he does kind of look like Peter Lorre.
But then, to be perfectly honest, nobody looks good in a bowl cut. I don't even know how that's a fucking haircut.
I really can't think of anyone with a pulled off the bowl cut. Not even Justin Bieber, I guess.
That's like your parents naming you after like a celebrity or like a fucking cartoon character. Naming your kid like Anakin Skywalker, Lebowski. Yeah, that's a great name. Your kid's not going to get the shit kicked out of him every day for the rest of his life.
So, poor fucker.
You seem to be speaking from experience there.
Well, I have a completely common, normal name. Cheeseburger, last name Meister.
Yeah.
At least you're not named Terrapin.
I've met a couple of Damians in my life, so...
They ain't so bad.
Yeah,
Damians I can deal with. I can deal with a Damien. Look, even if it's a name that comes out of the Bible, it's slightly more realistic than naming your kid like fucking Earthworm Jim or something.
I've noticed that, I've noticed white trash people tend to name their boys Damien. That's what I've noticed.
Oh yeah, one of my close friends growing up was a white trash motherfucker named Damien.
Right. So as we've seen, we've lost a couple characters already. So it's time to lock themselves in the house, like any zombie film.
Yep, the maid's dead.
As mentioned. Yeah, maid's dead, but as we've learned, the zombies use tools.
Yeah,
and there's actually a nice shot. There's actually a really nice shot of them all walking up, holding axes. One of them has a hoe. Doesn't really make sense. The one with the scythe.
Yeah.
And as mentioned, the masks look great, but all these guys are wearing fucking burlap sacks, and it's really kind of fucking sad. Maybe that's the style. Maybe I don't understand how Italian zombies.
Well, maybe they're peasant zombies, right? So, they're dressed like peasants.
I don't think they're peasant zombies.
Or whatever.
I think they're monk zombies.
They're supposed to be Etruscans, but I don't really know nothing about Etruscans, to be honest with you.
There's not a lot to know. They're basically pre-Romans, but they're...
But there's a fair argument right there, and the whole fact is, like, with Gene Wilder, fucking Italian and everything, when he starts shooting them, and we get to see our first bits of gore. Because unfortunately, and this is just for me, basically, the amount of zombie gore is really low comparatively with the human gore. Because the zombies, we have a shot. We have a shot where the guy Burt Reynolds. He's got the shotgun.
Yep.
And he's blasting off their heads. And first of all, that looks really bad.
Yeah.
Every headshot looks real bad. They reuse a bunch of them. They look like they're styrofoam with firecrackers.
They are.
being blown
That's
up.
what That's what they are. It's.
But we get all those. We get all those kills and everything. But there's not like brains flying everywhere. Considering some of the shots, like we watch their skulls get caved in, and it'd be great to watch juicy bits blast out and ooze out. We don't get that. But when they get shot or stabbed, they bleed chocolate milk and ketchup in.
Yeah. And it looks.
Whatever they can
no
find on the
more.
craft.
You
Whatever
got
they
to
can find on the craft service.
You got to pick one. You either got to have mummified zombies that are just basically dust husk walking around and they just die, or you got to have meaty, juicy, explodey zombies.
Yeah, and they kind of go for a mix, and it doesn't really work.
No. Like the zombies, like the effects look good, but the zombies just don't have any really cool looking deaths, considering how many of them die.
I think they couldn't afford it personally.
Probably.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they spent all that extra money on the fucking human guts, which I'm pretty sure got reused.
Well, no,
multiple
I think
times.
they spent all the money on renting the castle, and like towards the end of the movie, they're check bound, so they, switch to shooting in a garden garden center.
Now that could be a trade-off, though, if you think about it. Hey, if you let us use your castle in our movie, well, you'll get like tourists.
Yep, and that was the same castle used in Blood for Dracula, aka Andy Warhol's Dracula. It was also used for another movie by the same producers, Burial Ground, called Patrick Still Lives, which is an inexplicable Italian ripoff of the Australian movie Patrick, which is about a paralyzed guy with telekinetic powers and shit.
Of course.
Yeah.
Italians can't decide between zombies or telekinetic powers.
No, never.
The only
Apparently they're interchangeable.
Actually, in City of the Living Dead, the pre-zombie does make people's like eyes bleed and someone puke up their guts. Telepathically.
Amazing.
Cool.
Beautiful.
That's a good Fulci film.
Yep. But so we had the shotgun scene. The zombies get into the building, don't they? They climb up.
Yep.
multiple times.
All right, and that's where we really get and Michael's dad gets yanked, and then we get the incest subplot, which has been hinted, but they just go whole out.
Yeah, we got to the part. Yeah, the boy has a moment where he is terrified, and his mother going to comfort him. Absolutely, like does what any mother does, pats his head, shit like that, and then it devolves into an incest shot that nobody fucking expected.
Yeah.
Because Michael doesn't get first and second base, he gets the third.
Yeah, he goes right
fucking
in there.
base.
He goes right in there.
His mom.
Yeah. I always find it interesting. Like someone wrote this into the movie. They kept with this. Like, no, I know we can't hire a little boy, or else this movie would be banned all over the world. We're gonna hire a midget. At any point in time, they could have written this out, make it a love triangle, make it another guy who wants to fuck her, then he gets eaten, comes back, blah 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 blah. Like the producer's like, no, damn it, we're gonna do it. We're gonna have a midget bite off this, do the unthinkable.
Yeah.
They need to be related. Can I not make that any more clear?
They're like the producer's like, no, damn it, this has to fucking happen.
This was just this was the producer's fetish.
Yeah, I probably was. The producer, he was Miriangelo Giordano. She was his girlfriend at the time, and he revealed in an interview that he didn't really like her a lot, so he just devised these elaborate, grotesque deaths for her. And this is basically a bad joke. Her expense.
Wow.
Yeah,
most people just break up. But most people just break up, but not him. No.
Wow.
He's gonna make movies and then have her murdered in them.
If you think about it, guys, if you could take your ex and like have a zombie midget bite off her titty, would you do it if you had the power to do it? I mean, I would. You only live once. YOLO.
This isn't 2010.
Gosh, so we covered an incest scene. So after the incest scene, that leads into the bathroom scene, as we.
Oh yeah, Michael's death, which is hilarious.
No explanation of what limb is missing because they never show it again afterwards.
Yeah,
it could have been a leg.
It's actually the arm.
It's an arm. I know it's an arm, but still, it's like for someone who just had their arm ripped off and being eaten, not a lot of blood everywhere. Gotta admit.
So. What happens is Michael wanders into the bathroom, and after getting rejected by mommy,
Oh, wait. No, it's not directly to the bathroom. Oh, no, you got to remember. Leslie got grabbed by a zombie in the window.
Yes.
And then
Yep.
got her.
In a scene that rips off Fulci Zombie, the infamous
Yeah.
eyeball scene from Zombie, but
Doesn't even do a good job of that.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a completely half-assed ripoff of
Like, there's no like, I guess her throat got slit, but they didn't even show her throat getting slit.
No.
So she falls down. She dead. Michael comes running away from Mommy after Mommy won't let him hit fourth base. And then fucking he finds her on the ground, and I guess she comes on to him because he follows her into a
Yep.
bathroom.
Well, if I can't hit it out with Mommy, I'll take her.
Yeah.
And then at some point, yeah, the arm is gone. Mom comes looking for son because he's usually going to apologize or follow through. We don't know. We didn't write the film. So comes in the bathroom, and boom, there's dead son, and Leslie's going at his arm like someone
Yep.
just ordered
Yep.
Popeyes.
Yeah, and she like runs in and she's cradling Michael's body, and Leslie's just in the background eating a limb, and it's hilarious.
Just munching
Yeah,
away.
It's like
Yeah.
doesn't give a shit. And then Michael's mom freaks out, and there's a great scene of her throttling Leslie and
Oh yeah, very
caving,
impressive.
caving
Very
her
impressive shot.
head in with the corner of the bathtub.
Which is impressive given that it's rounded, but
Yeah.
But no, yeah, that was actually a nice shot. The blood dripping down the back with the zombie ooze, whatever that's supposed to be.
I always thought it was hair dye that they just had.
I
Probably.
mean, I get, but it's like there's bread and then there's white mixing. It's like the
Yeah.
white never makes sense, but okay.
It's that shit you mix in with hair dye, you know.
I thought it was just because it's zombie goo. Because remember they're shooting the zombies and they got chocolate milk coming out.
Oh yeah, it's goo. It's zombie goo.
So then after that, Mom comes running back after she murders somebody, and well, a zombie technically, but she comes back and she lets everyone know, oh, Michael is dead. And I think that's his dad. Burt Reynolds comes running.
No, his dad's already dead.
Yeah,
Oh,
his
yeah,
dad
that's
was the
right.
guy
His
with
dad's
the
Gene
gun.
Wilder. Yeah, his dad was
Yeah, that
Gene
was the guy
Wilder.
with the gun.
Okay. So we got Burt Reynolds, and he comes up and he gives a very dramatic moment of seeing his dead wife with the she's dead, and then we move on.
Yeah. And after that, the film just kind of starts collapsing. It's
Yeah.
More so than it already
Did
did.
it ever pick up?
Well,
no.
Did it ever get a good running start?
No,
No,
it was
but-
never exhilarating.
Yeah.
Well, at this point, it was like a fat, diabetic, asthmatic guy on a hover-round, and the wheels on the hover-round just come off, and he's on the
Like
ground
we-
squealing.
Like we only know that it's dramatic because the music is telling us that it's a dramatic scene.
Yes, the soundtrack for this is great. It's
yeah.
As far as like
mostly stock
shit,
music.
yeah, as far as shitty soundtracks go for a film, the music is pretty entertaining.
Yeah.
It is.
And not for considering how cheap the sound in this movie sounds, it never overpowers the actual actors talking. It's just bad mixing that covers up the actors talking.
This is also the only movie by the director Andy Bianchi, or the producer for that matter, to ever get any kind of meaningful release outside Italy. So this was released all over the place: America, England, Germany, Japan, elsewhere.
Yeah, this is their big hit, and
Yeah,
it's
this is-
this.
Yeah.
This
Yeah,
is the
definitely
only movie
huge.
he's known for.
So let's see. We've lost Leslie. We're down to like the last 6 people, and one of those 6 people is the butler. So he's absolutely got to die, and that's when Alan Moore comes back.
Oh yeah. The professor shows up. I think he eats the butler.
Which at this point, nobody should trust anybody who just randomly shows up covered in blood as being alive anymore.
Yeah, especially this situation.
Especially
Well-
since the butler was armed.
Well, what did
Especially the butler and the maid, they still fulfill their butler and maid roles.
Oh, yeah,
Well,
yeah, that
hey,
was-
maybe Alan Moore just shows back up at the mansion covered in blood on a regular basis, and it's
Possibly.
like, all right, sir,
But the butler,
I'll get the
butler's completely
scrubbers.
destroyed. Seconds. The butler's done in seconds, even though he's armed. Even though the other guys can fight off, zombies strangling them for minutes. No, butler down on the ground, throat gone, over.
This is about the time where the check for renting the for renting the castle bounced, so they
Yeah,
have
we
to
gotta-
switch shooting locations.
Change locale, which is just another part of the castle we haven't seen before. They basically just walked around to the other side.
Yep, but in the film, they somehow escape from the zombies on foot, despite having cars.
Well, no.
Despite,
no,
despite
we-
the idiot plan working with
That's
one
the
guy's like,
okay.
yeah, let
Right
them
before we
inside.
go no further on the car thing, they covered the cars. Way back when they first reached the house again, there were zombies standing around the cars, and one of them was holding a car part in his hand, which is supposed to give you the implied impression that the zombies have fallen through the car, so they no longer fall through.
Yeah,
Even though I would think that these zombies, given the way they're dressed, have no idea what a fucking car is.
No, they'd be ancient trolls
Because these
know.
things are clearly fucking
Well-
200 years old.
yeah.
Way older than that. Way
Yeah.
older than 200 years old.
You know what I mean?
But yeah, they still know to take out the catalytic converter or fucking whatever to stop a car from being able to be functional.
Yeah, so it's I mean, their plan they don't even go into details about their plan. It's just a couple of shots of the woods and it's a new location. They're like sleeping in some random street corner.
Probably behind the castle, I imagine.
Oh, like a shed or something.
Yeah, around the shed behind the castle.
Given that it had a glass ceiling and the fucking the tiled floor and everything, it's probably like a gazebo or some shit.
Yeah.
But then
So they
make
slept
it,
inside of there, which the zombies at no point ever caught up with them or found out where they were or nothing.
then they find a monastery.
Yeah, monastery.
Yeah, it's just another part of the castle. I think. I don't know. Maybe they rented
Oh, it is.
another
It's
building.
it's definitely part of the castle still.
I think the interiors were part of the castle too, because
Yeah.
they were too realistically dilapidated.
Yeah.
So we're down to our last 3 surviving people. Oh wait, no, 4. It's still 4 surviving people when they reach the monastery.
Yep. It doesn't stay that way. One guy, I think it was Burt Reynolds, finds the
Yeah, Burt
monks,
Reynolds.
and they're all zombies, of course. And
Nobody thought that was going to be zombies either. Nobody thought that. Everyone thought they were actually monks.
yeah, that's obviously they, there's a monastery on a zombie-infested property. Can't be zombies in there. Gotta be monks.
Gotta
Nope.
be monks.
I guess wrong. I'm dead. Burt Reynolds gets killed. The last few survivors, Michael's mom, Bear Trap Lady, the one with
Johnny
the
Chest
wart,
Hair.
and Johnny Chest Hair, and they
The
flee.
mom suddenly snaps out of her PTSD real quick, of course.
Yeah, sure. Pops out of it. Yeah,
Yep,
sure.
right. That's how it works.
But they flee the monastery and go to. I actually think that might have been like a garden center somewhere that they just rented for a day.
But it's still the
because-
plain place. It's still the same damn place. They just got all that. They got that stone cutter saw there.
Oh, the final location.
Yeah, the
is
final
actually-
location.
That's a set. That's
yeah,
not-
yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So
Can't remember-
they filmed part of the movie at the Di Paola's studio in Italy. It was an independently owned studio. It's basically the flop house where all the B movies were shot at.
Makes sense.
You
Yeah.
know, I felt bad because we kind of missed out on a couple of. There were some really nice Cinemax shots where they did it through multiple windows and doorways.
Oh yeah,
To kind of give the house some really nice depth.
I think those were accidental or shot by an assistant director.
Even if they're accidental, man, they were good shots.
But
So we're down
the,
to that.
the
Yeah.
final confrontation in the I'm calling it a garden center because it looks like it looks like a Walmart shopping set, like garden center. You got the the lumber, the stone statues and shit that you put in your front lawn.
No, those weren't. Those were like actual, like fucking, like actual stone art pieces, man. That was like the kind of stuff you see at like churches and shit.
Yeah, quote unquote stone. They're
Stone, yes, because as we learned,
the very light stone that can be easily pushed around.
no, it can be pushed around by 3 people with incredible ease, but at 2 people, impossible.
Yes.
And it's not on wheels or nothing. I thought it was on wheels. Y'all called me out on it. No wheels.
Yep. So they barricade themselves in the set, and then a zombie comes in from the upstairs. There's like there's a stairway and a balcony, and then a door to someplace.
Yeah, we get a nice kerfluffle with a zombie and everything.
Yeah. Yeah,
He picks, like, he picks the least effective weapon, which is like a lamp, like a wooden beam for a lamp or some
or
shit.
I don't know.
And
I think it's like a model of one of those Greek like a
I
Something
called
like
it a
that.
chess
column.
piece.
or a chess piece.
Probably knew it was a fucking old school dildo for all we fucking knew.
Yeah.
And he clubs the zombie over the head, but eventually just strangles it and throws it off over the balcony.
Which kills it completely.
Yeah.
The
But
1 foot fall. Blech.
Brr. But then we have the return of the best character, Michael. He shows up as a zombie, and there is
Michael, who's trying to pretend he only has one arm but still walks like he has two.
Doing a better performance than most of the other actors, I should say.
True.
and there is. You know what, Bruno? You describe this scene.
Okay, so you see the combination of the producer's fetish / hatred for his girlfriend at the time, where Michael, the dejected son embraces his mother, and she's like, "Oh, darling, it's great to have you back." And you see this great reaction between those two characters, this genuine "what the fuck" reaction.
That
And-
beautiful shot.
Yeah, and then Michael like she offers her he doesn't make the first move. She makes the move. She's like, "I'm so glad to have you back, darling." She offers her titty.
You can
to
be
a
my
zombie
husband
fight.
now.
Yeah, and it all goes to hell.
Yeah.
She pulls out her breast, and we get the second "what the fuck" shot from the other two actors. It's like
As you would.
That's
As
too
you would.
damn genuine for me to believe that they even knew it was going to happen in
Now,
that part of the set.
now, when I was a kid, I heard about this movie. I was reading about it on a bootleg tape site and everything, and that's how I first heard about it. It was a movie where a zombie kid bites off his mother's tit, and I thought the context was like the movie was set in like an African village or it was like a 2-year-old or something, which would make some sense. But no, the movie they go for an incest subplot instead.
Yeah.
I've watched horror films. I've watched horror films where the zombie baby crawls its way out of its dead mother or its mother.
Yeah.
I mean, like that's
You-
creepy.
They
Yeah,
could
but
have
it's
made
not
like
as creepy
they
as
could have
this.
made they could have made like a zombie baby puppet of sorts and do that. That could have worked,
Oh, that'd be great.
Like
if,
Dead Alives.
if
Yeah.
it was like a chest burster or something.
Something like that, yeah. And believe it or not, I mean the tit biting scene. That's probably the most dignified of the deaths this actress has endured.
Which
There's
is-
two other movies. Two other movies she did for the same producer. The producer died a couple of years ago, I think. But there was Giallo in Venice, aka Gored Venice, where she's completely nude on a table, lips are on display, bushes out and everything, and a guy slowly cuts off her leg with a hacksaw. And the way the shot is done is really good gore effects. That was that one. And then there's Patrick Still Lives, which I mentioned earlier. That one, she is fully nude, lips on display, and our telekinetic killer has a fireplace poker shoved up her cunt, and it emerges out her mouth. That is probably the best death she has ever got. Yeah.
Mighty words.
Did he heat up the fireplace poker?
Nope.
Oh.
Nope. Went in raw. Nope.
Oh. Because that would have been a fucking brutal
would've been, yeah.
death.
That would have been.
It like comes out of her mouth and it's still glowing hot, and there's like
Yeah.
blood boiling on it. That would have
Yeah.
been nasty.
The effect is pretty good. So I mean, it like the producer, like the other movies he made, they were shit movies that were made for nothing. But like, you have to keep in mind, he spent money. He's like, no, we're gonna spend money to make this effect work. I want to see her tit get bitten off. Here's some more money, guys. We're gonna make this happen. I want to see this happen for his own Coomer ways. Or whatever.
Yeah.
To be fair, I've never seen a tit been bitten off like that before.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
He
There's
knew
a
that was the money shot.
It's one
Yeah,
of those
there
never
is
forget
an
kind of scenes.
amazing scene of Michael getting his mommy milkers and biting him off, and it is hilarious and skin crawlingly creepy.
And then
and
Mama
not-
falls down.
Yeah.
Zombies start pouring in. They manage to finally push the styrofoam wood stone structure out of the way.
Yep. There's a great big ending where they get swarmed by zombies, and
Which, thankfully, the zombies knew how to work power tools.
Yeah.
yeah. Chest hair. It was Chest Hair, right? Who got the
It was
Johnny
Chester.
Chester.
Johnny
Yep.
Chest Hair? Do we actually ever see him get his head sawed open?
No.
No, sadly no.
Aw.
Sadly no.
Actually,
all the money went to the titty eating scene.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, because Screaming Blonde, all she gets is just swarmed and then a bunch of hands. And yeah, we never get to see his head get bisected by a stone saw, which would have been cool as hell.
Yep. And then we finally limp to the ending, which who wants to describe what the
So-
end? Go
So
ahead.
the ending is a prediction. It says the graves are open, the earth shall tremble, they will rise again, and everything. It's horribly translated. One, because there's two spelling errors. They misspell the word knights and prophecy hilariously. They also attribute it to a soothsayer called the Black Spider, which is also mistranslation. It was actually a guy, 14th century Italian monk named Ragno Nero, which translates to Black Spider. But
Damn, that sounds awesome though.
Yeah, the guy
Ragno Nero.
Ragno Nero.
Ragno Nero.
Yes. And he was kind of like a Nostradamus type. Some people say he predicted AIDS or the rise of the Satanic Church, but it's like whatever.
Netflix.
Yeah, I mean,
exactly. Yeah.
Nostradamus is bullshit, and people who still bring him up are idiots.
Yeah.
So,
if you're curious, he never predicted zombies were going to rise from the dead either. So, but I think they quoted him because it sounded official.
well, yeah, it's like quoting. It's like quoting Nostradamus in a horror movie. Like everybody's gonna know. Oh, that's the guy who made the Doomsday prediction.
Yeah. It's funny. There's another Italian horror flick that does that. It's called Demons, which is actually really good. It's a classic from '85 that quotes. Well, it's not a real quote, but it quotes Nostradamus and says, "The sleep of reason gives birth to monsters," which is not a real quote.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
Sounds cool. Sounds cool, right?
Yeah, it sounds cool, but I don't think Nostradamus was very big on reason.
No.
But
Ragnar Nero, he was popular in Italy like the 70s and early 80s, then kind of faded away, I guess. So I guess that's why they chose him, because someone read a newspaper article, maybe someone brought it up, Ragnar Nero, like, oh, there's Black Spider, sure, put him in there, fuck it.
Well, I mean, come on. I mean, your name actually means like something else. It sounds really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, why would you call yourself fucking Black Spider when Ragnar Nero sounds 10 times fucking cooler?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like everyone Nostradamus. It's like Batman could beat Superman. Nostradamus is the fucking quote. I hate any movie that ends on a still image or a fucking quote or a fucking.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're gonna pull a fucking Maximum Overdrive, oh man, it's got to be good.
What about a movie that opens with a quote? Is that?
I don't mind that.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, you're leading into the film. Like, even if it's a quote that maybe has nothing to do with the film or just like a statement, that still leads in.
Well, Burgermiester, what about Come and See? That ends with a quote.
Yeah, like I said.
Exception to the rule.
I don't like quotes, man. Don't quote my fucking movie.
I'm gonna shove a quote up your ass.
And that is what happens in this film. And
oh yeah, great.
But what were your final thoughts on this film? Because I was entertained, at least. More on just the commentary and watching it with friends. But
yeah,
I mean, that's how I'd say the only way to really watch it. You got to get some guys together.
It's definitely a movie to sit down and watch with your friends.
Yeah,
because it's absolutely fucking boring otherwise.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
No, I wouldn't say boring. It's insane, though.
It's not even insane. It's just tedious. Like there's too much downtime between anything that's remotely entertaining to watch, and all the stuff that stands out. Like I said, it's pockmarked through the film, like the incest and the face shot of zooming in with Michael. Michael is definitely the breakaway best part of this film.
Yeah, Michael is by far the best part of this movie.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's kind of a thing that's kind of a beef that I have with a lot of Italian horror is a lot of it just feels really tedious to me.
Really? Which one?
Yeah.
I mean, you should watch.
Tedious is a hard word. Tedious is a hard word. Maybe I was being mean when I said tedious. It's a very slow pace.
It's accurate to the director. His other movies
they
are
love
incredibly slow.
Like, there's a lot of love in this film with just dragging out scenes unnecessary. Like, for example, the candelabra bit.
Yeah.
Oh,
we had to sit there and we had to listen to the zombie bang on the door the entire time. He's lighting each candle on the candelabra part by part.
And I think they legitimately had trouble lighting the candelabra when they were shooting it, and they were like, throw it in. It'll pad out the film.
And even worse, then he walks into the next room, and the first thing we thought is, oh shit, is he gonna have to light all these candelabras too?
The entire movie just turns into people lighting candles. Yeah, this is a movie. I'd say if you want to watch this, watch it on a bad movie night with friends, because it's going to be painful to watch otherwise.
I second that, because when I first tried to watch this, it took me 2 nights to watch because I found it completely hard to sit through without someone to riff it with.
better than me. I couldn't even make it past the first 15
Damn.
minutes.
You poor motherfucker.
I saw this originally back when I was 12. I rented it from
That explains a
Blockbuster.
lot.
Yeah, I
You've seen
read
like every Italian film though, so you can sit through all of
I've seen
them.
a lot. I rented it from Blockbuster when I was 12. I don't know how the fuck this Blockbuster had an unrated cut of Barrow Ground. Also had Henry Portrait Serial Killer, a couple of like unrated films stuck in there because Blockbuster they had a policy of R-rated only, no unrated shit. I rented it the same night as Blair Witch Project, so it was a double dose of disappointment for me.
Oh,
The movie grew on me, when
Yeah.
I got older.
Unlike
mean,
Blair
I had
Witch.
appreciation.
I mean,
Which,
I'd say this movie is probably better than Blair Witch.
Yeah, it's more memorable.
Yeah.
No, the
Yeah.
only thing great about Blair Witch was its fucking marketing campaign.
Yeah.
yeah, that was a
The
secret.
ending is very good too. The ending is very good.
So, if we were to score this movie, what would you score this movie?
I mean, as an actual legit film, probably a 2. But as like a so bad it's good.
Out of 10?
Well,
Out of
here's my suggestion.
Alright.
There's the positive rating, like I don't know, like 5 out of 5, and then there's the negative rating for films that are so bad they're good. And
Okay.
probably put this as like maybe a -3. Like it's no real classic, but it's a solid film to put on for a bad movie night.
I would say, I would say it's up there with Troll 2, personally. I think.
Okay,
No.
for me,
No,
That's my hot,
no.
yeah, that's my hot take.
Yeah.
I'm not putting that up there with Troll 2.
You put that up there with Troll 1. I know you.
Me? I put it up with Troll 3.
There you go. Which Troll 3?
The one with the plants.
Okay.
There was a Troll 3?
There was 2 Troll
Yeah,
3s.
there was
There's
two.
Contamination Point 7. There's another one that was like, I think it was not Iron Master. It was Iron Sword. I forget the name of it.
Ator.
Ator, yes.
There is something. Okay, we'll have to like edit some of this out. Okay, we're taking a look here at the DVD box cover, and there's something I want to say right away about the back of that DVD box cover, and it's not about the words or anything. It's the filter that they put on all the images to make the film look like a modern film.
Oh.
That's Media Blasters. They had a contract with getting their movies out to Blockbuster, believe it or not, which led to they released 2 other Italian films to Blockbuster, but they edited them down, which caused a lot of controversy with collectors. So they released R-rated cut versions of Patrick Still Lives and the Opus Erotic Nights of the Living Dead. So they were really shameless. Also, same company, I should point out, that distributed the Bible Black anime as well.
Oh, that's fucking weird.
Well, to be fair, Media Blasters, legitimately distributes porn, and I think they still do.
Yeah.
They still do. Yeah, there's still everyone.
Let's-
It's a running joke among collectors. Everyone still thinks Media Blasters is dead, but no. Every now and then they push out something, and they're still like, "Hey, we're still alive, guys."
Looking at the front cover, and like I said, we mentioned this earlier, and then like when the moon turns red, the dead shall rise.
Yeah.
And the fact that doesn't rhyme actually bothers me.
I get you,
The
man.
tagline is a ripoff of the tagline for Fulci's City of the Living Dead when it was released over here as Gates of Hell. Very similar title. Very similar tagline.
Yep.
And like I said, I'm not a big fan of when they try to trick people into thinking a film looks modern by changing the coloration.
Well,
Yeah.
honestly, I think the coloration change just makes it look even worse.
The print used to look like dog shit for the old DVD. So the Blu-ray I showed you, that's a definite improvement. The Blu-ray is taken from Severin.
85 minutes, man, that didn't feel like 85 minutes.
That
I also
felt
like how it's not rated.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was supposed. I heard. I don't know if this is true. I was distributed in America as Burial Ground. I heard it was distributed by the Mafia, but I never got confirmation of that. So I kind of chalked it up to bullshit.
Well,
people,
Well, let's just take that dubious rumor and present it as fact. This
Exactly,
movie
yeah.
was distributed by the Mafia.
something Italians, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
Mafia.
Same distribution company put out Burial Ground. They also put out Blood Rage, aka Slasher.
No, it's like drug cartels. You know how drug cartel guys make like music videos and stuff? Italian mobsters make bad horror movies. It makes so
Yeah.
much sense.
That's how they launder their money.
There
It's
you go.
yeah, they it's Mafia Hollywood accounting.
Oh wow, that actually makes a lot of sense now when you put
Yeah,
it in
well-
that perspective. Not a big fan of how they photoshopped him on the cover either, because they make
No.
it look like a really nice model, considering that in the film most of the zombies' mouths are completely non-functional.
No.
Yeah. No,
They are very hit and miss masks.
There is
yeah.
something on this here I wouldn't mind watching sometime, though. I mean, I'm looking at the special features. It has talent bios and exclusive interviews.
Oh no.
Ooh.
I
Yeah,
wonder
that
if
one,
Michael. I would love Michael's hot take on the
oh,
incest scene.
there is an interview with the midget actor.
I'm not surprised.
Yes.
It's only like 4 minutes long. The first half is in Italian,
Aw.
Of course it is.
but the rest of it has subtitles.
Gosh, what else is there to say about this?
Not much.
No, I think we've completely ripped this apart.
Think so, yeah.
We're gonna rate this. Like, is it worth a watch or not?
Okay, I'm gonna say it for my opinion, only if you're shit faced with friends.
I did watch Food Fight by myself like 6 times, so
If
Damn.
you're that
Yeah.
funny to watch.
God damn. Why did you watch Food Fight back to back 6 times?
you got to understand how I watched it the first time. That had my impact of me watching it more than once.
Did you watch it on that fucking stream that played it
Oh, no.
24/7?
No, I got my hands on a copy of it, and I was like, I'm gonna sit down and watch this. And before I watched it, I smoked in a big fat bowl, and
Yeah.
I sat there the entire time, slack jawed, just staring in disbelief at what I was watching. And it was a fantastic fucking experience. And then I watched it again more times after that because every time I watched it, you just see stuff you didn't see the previous time you watched it.
Did you discover a newfound appreciation of God or your own inner God or self?
Something like that. Nothing like that.
Self
Fuck no.
actualization.
All right, so let's rate this shit. Would you watch? Like, how would you rate it? Let's go.
I mean,
Right.
I'd rate it up there with Troll 2. That's just me.
That's definitely not me in the fucking case right here because
No,
I'd say by myself I'd give it a 0. Negative
Yeah.
2.5 if I'm watching it with friends.
Damn.
Yeah, negative 2.5 for me. Negative 3. I'll be generous because of just the out there-ness of the incest subplot. It's just so fucking stupid and out of nowhere.
Yeah, I'm gonna be a hard -3 on this too.
I'd give it a negative 4.5, maybe a 5. Depends what movie.
Whoa.
Fair.
It's fun to watch with other people, but like the choicest bits of this film are way too far spread out.
I mean, I've showed this to a lot of people, and the tit biting scene always gets reaction. I've showed this to coworkers.
There's a lot of bad movies that have like one great shot in them that people will always memorize.
Well, every
Yep.
frame of painting, right?
True. So let's see. We got -3, fucking. Wait a minute. It's
negative 5. Negative 5. Fuck it.
-5 would mean it's like. Okay, that would make it like it's perfect.
Yeah, like, well, bad movie.
Perfect garbage.
Like Troll 2.
I think it's funnier than Troll 2. That's just me. I always thought Troll 2 was a little overrated.
Yeah,
You
like-
only say that because it was featured on Conan.
Oh,
yeah.
once it's
I mean,
mainstream, it's not funny anymore.
I mean,
And I thought I
I
was
rated.
Motherfucker, I thought I was the hipster.
I rate this up there with like Samurai Cop, that kind of shit.
So if
Alright.
we take all of our numbers and we add them together, let's see, -3,
It has almost
-3.
as much nudity as Samurai Cop, so.
That comes out to a -1. I didn't do the math at all. I just said that.
So -5, -3, -3, -2.5.
We're gonna round that up, make it a -3.
Yeah, fair
I
enough.
don't care.
Yeah, okay.
Overall rating, -3.
-3.
Watch it with friends. It's a great anchor for a bad movie night, but don't look too much in it. It's not worth it.
And that
I
was
would say it's at least show the tip biting scene. to
Yeah,
unsuspecting
yeah.
people.
Clip that and show it to your friends.
It's on
because
YouTube.
Stick to
that's
that.
yeah,
The tip biting scene is on YouTube.
yeah. That is Burial Grounds.
Tune in next time where we watch an actual good movie.
No, we won't.
No,
Fuck you people.
sadly. Next movie should be Virus Shark.
Fire Shark it is then.
That virus shark.
Fine with me.
And that will be next episode, but we will see you then.
Alrighty.
See you motherfuckers.
You probably don't have to
Easy.
tell them that.
Tanti grazie, fuckers.
No, no! Stand back! I'm your friend!